Hello mga alamat! In this video, pag-uusapan po natin ang mga trending stocks tulad ng SMPH, ALI, at SCC. Are you guys ready? Let's go! Alright, so let's start off with SMPH, no? Now, magsisimula tayo dito ng naka-zoom out ng konti para lang may papakita ko, no? Previously, SMPH was trading more or less within this range here, di ba? Hindi na ako naglagay ng guhit sa taas, but you can see how price more or less respected this wide area that SMPH was trading at. Etong mga lagpas sa taas, tsaka mga lagpas sa baba, for me, in the bigger picture, they look like overshoots. Okay? Now, I want you to keep all of this in mind as we zoom in further. Now, when you zoom in, what can we observe? Number one, nagkaroon tayo ng breakdown mula dun sa wider range na pinag-uusapan natin kanina. Now, after we broke down, price pushed lower, tested yung mga levels of support na nag-form dito sa baba, pushed higher again, nauntog more or less dito sa previous area of support nung wider range natin, came back down, tested it from underneath with that candle there, and then we continue to push lower. Now, kung nasaan tayo ngayon, more or less, tinatry mag-form ng SMPH ng bagong range. Hindi ko pa masabi na tapos na ito na talaga yung range natin from mga 30.3 hanggang 33 pesos more or less kasi hindi pa tapos yung structure niya. But it's looking like tinatry niya magbuo ng bagong range na pwede niyang sandalan, na dun muna siya maglalaro pang samantala. How long that range becomes, tipong magiging ganito rin ba siya? Or baka sandali lang, short-lived lang, remains to be seen. Kung tuluyang mabasag tong mga 29.7 na support dito, then we might come back and revisit yung next level of support at 28.75. On the flip side, if tumulak naman tayo pataas and we can start to hold above mga 34 pesos na area, then that might be a signal na babalik siya sa loob ng wider range from before. Pero, wag natin sobrang pangungunahan kasi it's still a little bit too early to tell kung talaga bang lalaruin niya yung buong range na yon, no? Kailangan pa rin nating hintayin to see what develops next. As traders, we can tend to be a bit impatient. Gusto natin, hindi, kapag may napanood ako, gusto ko ngayon na, yung trade na. Ngayon na mismo, hindi pwedeng bukas, hindi pwedeng makalawa, hindi pwedeng next week. Kailangan ngayon na. But we need to understand that one of the most important traits that we can develop is patience. Kasi dito sa SMPH, patience talaga ang kailangan for now. Kasi wala pang nabubuo na anything that's really positive eh. Yes, nagkaroon tayo ng bounce, pero may nabuo na bang structure indicating na baka magkaroon na tayo ng reversal or baka babalik na tayo sa previous range natin? Wala pa eh, di ba? Hindi pa siya tapos. So for now, the best thing that we can do is hintayin natin na mas magbuo pa tong chart na to bago natin siya balikan. But I wanted to address it in today's video kasi ang daming nag-request ng SMPH and I get it. It's SM. Diba? Sikat sila eh. But from a technical analysis perspective, the best thing that you can do is to wait muna for now. Kung kunwari naman from a fundamental perspective, kung meron kayong inaabangan na value area for SMPH and price does get to that value area, then exercise your trade with confidence, 'di ba? Execute lang kasi pinag-aralan niyo 'yan eh. 'Di ba? I'm sure na sinuri niyo ng mabuti kung bakit yun yung value na hinahanap ninyo. So if and when price ever gets there, then you should execute without worry. But for now, konting pasensya muna, konting tiis muna as we wait for the chart to further develop. Next, tignan naman natin tong ALI, no? Now, tong ALI, similar sa SMPH, after nung malaking fall dito, nagkaroon tayo ng wide range na nag-form prior to the breakdown, nag-test underneath, albeit in the case of ALI, mas matagal na, kumbaga, yung naging pag-breakdown niya. After we broke down, here, price came back up, tested, ito pa rin, same area of previous support, now turned resistance, tapos nagkaroon tayo ng rejection from there. Okay? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna zoom in a little bit just so we can see it a little bit closer lang. Okay? Right now, what's going on para sa akin is nag-form tayo ng low dito. Ito yung high. And it's possible na nagpo-form tayo ng higher low. Now, whether or not magpapatuloy tayo dito remains to be seen, no? But one of the early things, kumbaga, that I'm looking for is to see if this purple zone will hold. If price pulls back dito, tapos magbuo siya ng bullish structure. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Meaning, makakita tayo dyan ng something like an inverse head and shoulders pattern or a cup and handle or something like that, kahit sa lower time frames. Then, kung nangyari yon, then this might be worth watching kasi we could be forming yung simula ng higher highs and higher lows. Obviously, medyo hilaw pa, but this might be a good start. This might be a good starting point. Okay? Kaya ako nag-iwan ng marka dyan kasi ako mismo, dyan ko pinapanood. Kung bumalik yung price dyan, I want to see what it does next. Now, kunwari hindi bumalik yung price. Let's say from here, we just break higher, taking out tong 27.7, which is yung previous support nung range na to. If that happens, that opens up this range here from 27.7 hanggang 30.55. But I wouldn't try to preempt that trade kasi kahit pa sabihin natin na bullish tayo, pwedeng umangat yung price, mauntog lang siya dito sa 27.7, then gumulong na ulit. In fact, it might not even reach there. Baka mauntog na tayo sa 26.5 next time it tries to go higher, and then gugulong na tayo ulit pababa. So I would rather see na kung bumaba siya, mag-hold ba? At kung mag-hold siya, ano yung potential structure na pwedeng mag-form? Kung maganda, baka pwede nating sandalan, pwede nating gamitin yon as a basis for a trade idea moving forward. Kung hindi naman, kung tuluyan mabasag tong purple zone, then the likely scenario is baka punuin natin yung mga gap na naiwan dito sa baba or perhaps even come all the way back dito sa support at 21.85. Next, let's talk about Converge. Now, itong Converge, nagbigay na tayo ng paalala early on pa lang na nag-form nga siya ng tighter range dito sa baba. So, unless you're really a range trader and unless you find this range to be acceptable, na baka maganda hintayin muna natin what develops next. Now, what's happened over the past couple of weeks is right now, bumalik na tayo sa support dito around 12 pesos, no? Na ano mangyayari kung mabasag ng tuluyan yung 12 pesos na yan? Siyempre, bagong new 52-week low tayo. 'Di ba? Alam ko, bago na, new pa, no? Pero pagbigyan nyo na. Alright? New 52-week low tayo. From there, like I always say, wala tayong magagawa but to wait. Wait and see how it develops further from there. Madalas, kapag ka nag-new 52-week low, we see a further push to the downside. Similar sa kapag ka nag-new 52-week high. Kaya mga maraming breakout traders, gusto nila ng mga bagong 52-week highs, bagong 5-year highs, because they believe na from there, price will propel higher. So dapat, the flip side, yung kabaliktaran is also true. Kapag nag-form tayo ng bagong 52-week low, ang expectation is lalo pa tayong bababa, di ba? Na price will push to the downside. So, konting ingat lang. Now, ano yung pwede nating tignan, kumbaga, as a possible early sign na baka hindi na tayo bumaba pa further from there? Well, number one, syempre, kailangan mabasag tong range na nag-form dito. If we can see a close above nitong 13.7, maybe, then we will reassess tong Converge. I don't know what it's gonna look like kung mangyari yon. So, ayokong maging masyadong presumptuous. I would rather say na tignan na lang natin ulit. Madali lang naman gawin yun eh. Rather than pangungunahan ko, tas ipipilit ko yung gusto ko sa merkado, baka madamay pa yung iba sa inyo. 'Di ba? Now, kung kunwari from there, mag-hold nga tayo above 13.7, your next level will be at 14.6 na. Now, kung kunwari tuluyan pa, mabasag yung 14.6 and we actually break above tong swing high na to, then that could actually be a good sign. From there, we could look for potential pullbacks na pwede nating sakyan as we try and see if price could push higher from here. Now, whether or not makapag-form tayo ng higher highs and higher lows, after or prior to that breakout, hindi ko alam. Kaya again, I started this saying na we will have to wait and see. Kasi forcing a trade right here, kahit pa sabihin natin may divergence kasi or kasi may ganito, kasi may ganyan it doesn't matter. Okay? Yes, divergences are there to make you look. But they're not there for you to act upon. At least not the way that I've been taught and at least not the way that I trade. Kailangan makakita muna ako ng something more positive, something more confirmatory bago ako pumasok dito sa Converge. Okay? For now, it's not looking the greatest. But if you're a long-term investor, then you're probably not even watching this video. Or if you are, then you really shouldn't be stalking the chart on a day-to-day basis. Long-term nga di ba? But if you're a trader and you're looking for a quick trade, aside from a potential range trade na pinag-usapan na natin kanina, there's really nothing much else to see dito sa Converge. Next, let's talk about ICT. Now, like we discussed before, medyo nag-i-stair-step pababa itong ICT, di ba? Parang konso dito, breakdown from that range, konso dito, breakdown from that range, konso dito, tapos hinihintay pa natin ano yung next niyang gagawin. Okay? Kung kunwari, from here, we can reclaim tong 178 na area, more or less, then maybe we can come back to trade within the previous range from 178 papuntang mga 194, which is a decent range, but we do need to expect na if we intend to trade that, pwedeng may mauntog na yan somewhere along the way. Kasi usually talaga kapag kaganitong may nagko-consolidate, may mga nagtatry din mag-ipon in anticipation na from there, we could potentially push higher. Tapos, hindi magkakat kung nagkamali, hoping na babalik yung price to where it was para makalabas ng buhay. Now, if price does come back, yung mga ganong type of investors or traders might decide na gusto na nilang lumabas, di ba? Na hindi na nila willing hintayin kung tataas pa from there. So, what happens is mas may hirapan yung price umangat kasi binebentahan Okay? So we do need to watch out for that. However, kung kunwari from here, let's say ma-reclaim tong 194, 195 area, I think that's gonna start to look very bullish and we might come back and revisit tong mga highs na naiwan natin from before. What we don't want to see dito sa ICT is for price to break down. Kapag ma-take out natin tong swing low around 162, then I think what happens next is ma-revisit natin tong area of support between 148 hanggang 152. Okay? Kung kunwari pati yan mabasag, obviously panibagong problema na naman yon, and we'll rediscuss everything then, no? Huwag tayong sobrang maging advance mag-isip kumbaga, di ba? There's such a thing na good advance and may mga advance na medyo mas harmful na sa analysis natin kasi masyado na nating pinipilit yung market na mag-adapt do sa thinking natin, no? Now, other than that, what else ang pwede nating gawin dito sa ICT? I guess if you really wanted to, you could try to trade this range, but I don't think, number one, na it's gonna be an easy trade. Number two, na it's gonna yield good risk-reward. Okay? Now, I'm saying this, of course, from a general perspective, no? Kung kunwari meron kayong approach that does give you good risk-reward, then good for you. But from a general approach, I don't think that it will yield a good risk-reward for most traders. Okay? So, aside from that, there's really not much else left to do dito sa ICT but to wait. Hopefully, we can start seeing pushes to the upside sooner rather than later. Kasi maganda rin tong chart na to Overall, ang laki na rin ng inangat niya. So, hindi naaagulat na malaki rin yung tinulak niya pababa. Ganon talaga. It's up and down and it's really hard to say na kailangan fixed. Na kunwari, from the top kailangan 20% down lang or from the top kailangan 30% down lang. Diba? Yes, we can have general guidelines but the market doesn't work in such a way na pwede lagi sobrang precise Okay? So for now, again, exercise a little bit of patience, wait for it to further develop before jumping back in dito sa ICT. And then finally, tignan po natin tong SCC. Now, tong SCC, like we discussed, it broke beneath yung level of support, broke beneath it again, and then this week, ang nangyari was we pushed lower, almost reaching yung next level of support natin, okay, which was around 32.6. Nagkaroon tayo ng brief reaction. push to the upside where price came back, tested yung level of support, now turned resistance, tapos nag-reject tayo from there, and now it's looking like it might push lower. Now, from here, the next kumbaga, level that price will gravitate towards is likely still itong support natin at 32.6, no? After all, hindi pa natin siya nababalikan. Now, kung mabasag tong 32.6, the next level na pwede nating i-anticipate that price could react from will be dito na, around mga 30.5 na area. If that breaks, then we might revisit tong mga lows from before. Now, kung kunwari naman from here, price actually does fight back and we start seeing upside moves, then we'll check. Kung babasag tong 36.05 and itong 38, then the possibility exists na ma-fill natin yung gap na naiwan dito, which was, to be fair, a sizable gap, no? I am sure na maraming makaka-trade ng potential gap fill na yan. Okay? But I wouldn't be looking for the gap fill considering where price is right now. Kung umangat, sure. But from where we are, right here, I wouldn't be thinking muna na, hindi, mag-gap fill yan, so kailangan bilhin ko na. Okay? Now, kung kunwari, nag-gap fill, tumuloy to the upside, bagong 52-week high, then happy days, no? But for now, what we're anticipating from the current structure is we either see further downside movement or maaari din na mag-range muna yung price sa area na to between 32.6 hanggang 36.05. Whether or not that sets up in such a way na magpo-produce siya ng interesting at magandang risk-reward na range trade remains to be seen, no? Hopefully it does. But syempre, hindi pa natin alam, hindi pa siya nangyayari eh. Okay? Now, kung kunwari meron kayong hawak nitong SCC and for some reason hindi pa na-hit yung trail stop nyo, just be sure to adhere to your trade plan. Huwag nating panghawakan yung average. Hindi po tayo yayaman sa average, no? At the end of the day, kahit na gaano kalaki ang tinaas ng isang stock, it will only give us quote-unquote gains kapag nabenta na siya. Diba? And vice versa naman. The opposite is also true, no? So, I think in a way, maganda doon yung kasabihan na don't count your chickens, diba, until the eggs hatch, no? So, just be careful. Don't be too focused on the things that matter less. Focus on the things that matter more, like your plan and the overall direction nung pinangahawakan yung stock. Kung maganda pa yung chart para sa inyo, hindi pa na-hit yung trail stop nyo, then by all means, no, sundan lang ang plano. Pero kung kunwari na-hit na, huwag na magdalawang isip. Okay, sundan yung plano natin, execute, okay, and trust na kaya natin ginagawa yung ginagawa natin is kasi may dahilan kung bakit natin finormulate yan. May dahilan why we do things a certain way. Diba? I'm sure pinag-aralan nyo yan. So, since pinag-aralan nyo ng mabuti, it's high time na panindigan natin siya. So guys, before we go, if you want to watch a video sa pros and cons ng pag-trade ng PSE versus Forex, be sure to check out this video below. It should be somewhere in the lower left-hand side of your screen, no? Hopefully, may mapulot kayo from that video. And as always, guys, good luck in your trades. GT, over and out.